Hello students, welcome back on our e-learning platform, and our today's topic for e-lecture is Unit 3 Delegation of Authority. But before that, our e-lecture is for the subject Business Management for BCom second sem. Continuing with our syllabus, today we will start our Unit 3, and Unit 3 starts with Delegation of Authority. So, delegation. First of all, you need to understand the meaning of delegation. The students who have gone through with the subject like office management in class 11, 12, it is easy for them to understand. But those who have not opted that subject and who do not have any idea, then we will have a detailed look on this particular topic. Now, delegation of authority. Before you understand authority, responsibility and accountability, you should know what is delegation. Delegation means what? Delegation means to give, to grant or to hand over, or in another word it is transfer. Now what to transfer, what to grant and what to hand over? The work, the responsibility, the authority and the accountability. So delegation means to grant or to transfer or to hand over the work. As we are continuously going through with the topic management, and right from the first lecture we have seen that management is not a one-man job. Okay, every manager requires certain manpower, human resources to work in his organization or to run any business. Managers needs, or every organization, every enterprise needs the manpower. Okay, means the number of persons with whom the management is working. So it starts with, because manager, a single person, he cannot handle all the activities of the business. That is why there are different persons, different employees who are delegated, who are appointed, who are actually selected for the right job. So right person for the right job. It starts with, now after selecting the right person, he must be given the right work. It means delegation of work. He should be given the that work only. He should be delegated with that responsibilities only with whom or in which he is expert. Okay, if there is a production engineer in the organization and if you are giving him some administration work, then is it possible for him to perform well? No. So right person, right job. So delegation means first of all to grant, to hand over, to transfer and to we can again say it as to bifurcate. Okay, to delegate and to distribute the work. So it helps to coordinate activities at various levels to increase the efficiency of the organization. It helps manager to concentrate on important organizational matters and pass the routine matters to the subordinates. Okay, the work is delegated by superior to the subordinate, by employer to the employee, because actually who is getting the work done? The employees. They are the main persons who are getting the work done. Okay, so delegation is the process by which a manager assigns tasks and authority to subordinates who accept responsibility for those jobs. So again it is two-way work, it is not a one-way traffic. Okay, first the job is delegated, the work is distributed by the employer, by the boss to the employees, to the persons, to the workers, to the superiors who are working under him or who are working in that particular division or department. So it is clear now. So who is delegating the work? The superior is delegating the work. To whom they are delegating the work? To the subordinates they are delegating the work. So once the job of distribution and delegation of the work is done by the superior, now it is the responsibility of the subordinates, of the employees, to fulfill their particular responsibilities, to complete their job which has been authenticated or which has been handed over to them. Right? So Delegation is the process by which a manager assigns tasks and authority to the subordinates, and the subordinates accepts that work, accept those jobs. So now features of delegation. What are the features? Delegation is an ongoing and a continuous process. Okay, it is not that one day you have worked and for the rest of 29 days you are not working in the organization. That is not going to happen. So it is a continuous and ongoing process. It is a continuous and ongoing activity. An art, not science. Delegation is not a science, but it is an art. Now why it is an art? Because it is up to the superior, it is up to the manager who is deciding, okay, what job to be given to whom. Okay, right person, right job. Okay, that particular principle must be followed by the superior. So it is an art, not a science. Delegation does not necessarily mean the subordinate will perform those tasks well. There is no cause and effect relationship between task assigned and their actual performance. Okay, so it is an art. So it is a skill which is shown by the superior. Okay, because he has to get the things done by his employees, by his workers, by his supervisors. So it is an art. Okay, earlier we have discussed many times he has to be very harsh and he has to be very strict with his employees, but if he has to get the things done by him, by them, we can also say in that case it is an art, it is not a science. Correct? So third is delegation of authority and not accountability. Now here again accountability and authority are the two different terms. Why? Because authority means you are giving some certain rights, you are giving certain what do you say, authentications to the person to whom you are delegating the work. But accountability, and accountability means responsibility. Actual, it means responsibility. So every time who will be accountable for the work done? Manager will be accountable, because again he has to give answers to his top level persons. Okay, as we have discussed, there are three levels: top, middle, bottom. Okay, top level, middle level and lower level. So in that case, managers first they are delegating the work, they are distributing the work. Okay, along with that delegation of work, they are also delegating the authority. Okay, then they are also responsible for getting the work done by them. But finally, who is responsible, who is accountable for the work done? Manager only, because he is the main source. Okay, he is distributing and delegating, but he has to take the reports, he has to take the feedback from the employees. So in that case only he is accountable. So accountability cannot be transferred, but authority and distribution of the work is possible and is done. So delegation of authority but not accountability. Then necessary activity. So what is delegation of authority? It is a necessary activity. Managers cannot avoid delegation, because now why they cannot avoid? Because manager himself or managers or departmental heads of each and every departments, they cannot perform all the tasks, all the work themselves, and that is why they need human resources and different manpower in their organization to run their business activities. So they have to learn the art of delegation. That is how to delegate, what to delegate. Okay, corporate performances is judged by how well managers get the work done by the process of delegation. So delegation is not an option, but it is a necessity. And why it is necessity? Because a manager, a single person, although he is very talented, although he has got all the skills, okay, he has the leadership power, he has good knowledge of the subject, but still it is not possible for him to perform each and every task, each and every job of the organization, and that is why right persons are appointed for the right job, and then it is the skill of the manager to whom he is delegating and what he is delegating. So it is up to the manager. Once he delegates the work, then he has to get that work done by his employees or by his different level of persons. Now, elements of delegation. Delegation has three important elements. What are those elements? responsibility, authority and accountability. Just now we have discussed. Now responsibility. What is responsibility? Is the task or activity by the managers to the subordinates. It is the responsibility is the activity or a task entrusted by the managers to the subordinates. Entrusted means given, okay, handed over by the manager to the subordinates. Though delegated the ultimate responsibility, it means accountability for the completion of the work remains with the managers only. So just now in the feature we have seen delegation of authority is possible but not accountability. Finally, who is accountable? Who is responsible? The manager is responsible. Authority. To carry out the responsibility assigned, there is a need of authority to allocate resources, command people, issue directions and make decisions. The authority is therefore delegated to the subordinates to enable them to carry out the responsibility assigned. Now here we will take a simple example. Now, being an accounts manager, being a head of the departments of the accounts. Now you know that in accounts department all the work related to expenses or income is made in that particular division. Now, for example, in the office there is a immediate requirement of purchase of fan. We are just taking an example, okay, because the working fan has got some problem and that fan, ceiling fan is not working, and in that case because there is an urgent need of purchase of fan, purchase of ceiling fan. Now here if the accounts manager have the authority to purchase any thing, I mean it is not only the work related to papers or something but anything which is related to the office, okay. Now that ceiling fan comes under part of purchase of machinery or purchase of some goods. Now if the accounts manager have the authority to purchase the ceiling fan, or we will take an example, he has the authority to purchase anything up to rupees 5,000. Now because the accounts manager have the authority to purchase the goods up to rupees 5,000 and that ceiling fans come under the limit of rupees 5,000. Now that authority is granted to the accounts manager. So now considering the need of the time, considering the need of the ceiling fan, he will immediately purchase that specific goods. So here he has got that particular amount with him, he has got the funds with him, he has also got the authority to carry out the work. So along with the responsibility there must be authority. Unless there is an authority, that particular goods cannot be purchased in our example. So if the accounts manager has the authority to purchase something up to that limit of the money, then it is possible. So authority is also required, okay, responsibility also required, but finally who will accountable? Finally the managers are accountable. Now when managers delegate part of their workload to subordinates, they remain accountable for accomplishment of that task. Now they are accountable for getting the things done by their subordinates, by their employees. The responsibility and authority thus cannot be delegated, but can be delegated, but accountability cannot be delegated. Clear? These are the three elements of delegation. Now advantages and merits of delegation of authority. What are the advantages? Or you can just imagine what may be the advantages. Because the work is delegated and distributed, so managers feel somehow relaxed in their work. They get relief from their workload. So the very first advantage is relief to the manager. Once the job is delegated and distributed, the burden is lowered, so they feel relief for them. So it is a routine activity. Top level management distributes and delegates the work to the lower level and middle level, and they can carry on their own workload with some relaxation. Now develop subordinates. When routine and innovative tasks are delegated to subordinates, their skill in performing the delegated task increases. So ultimately it develops the good qualities among the subordinates. If required, some training programs are also arranged for the subordinates. Better and faster decisions. Though through delegation, decisions related to routine matters are taken by those who are closest to the decision-making situation. right? So it is better and faster decisions. With the help of delegation of authority, the decision can be taken faster, decision can be taken easily, and better and good decisions are taken for the sake of the enterprise, right? Specialization, division of work into subunits, and delegation of responsibilities according to the skill, knowledge, and competence of the subordinates promotes specialization on the job and results in greater output. So, division of work into subunits means the work is again distributed in small parts. Once the work is distributed in small parts. For example, there is one activity which has to be performed within the group of 10 people. Now, these 10 people, okay, each of them will be transferred a little responsibility. Okay, the little job will be transferred to each of them, and the final output of the 10 people will be forwarded to the manager. This is how the responsibility and the work is delegated or distributed according to the skill, knowledge, and competence, and ultimately it results in greater specialization. Correct? So, next is develops manager. By delegating authority and responsibility to the subordinates, managers can accept more and responsibilities from their superiors. By delegating routine jobs down the hierarchy, they can take more challenging projects and enhance their skills as competent managers. Again, with the experience, okay, for example, X, the Mr. X, he is working as a manager. Okay, after spending 2 to 3 years or 5 years in the same company, in the same organization, because he is handling those routine jobs, because he is used to with the organization, with the management, he knows the type of employees working with him, he knows their intentions, he knows their nature, whose employees nature, his team members nature. So it ultimately develops himself. So it is called, because managers with spending the more time in that organization, he himself develops. Correct? So job satisfaction. When subordinates achieve the delegated standards of performance, it provides them job satisfaction and motivates them to perform better. Job satisfaction. Every employee, let it be a manager even, they need job satisfaction. Job satisfaction means what? Whatever the job, whatever the work, whatever the job profile has been distributed to you, and you are happy with your job. For example, today you have given 10 jobs, okay, 10 works, and you have done that 10 jobs, that work very happily, very satisfactorily. It means you are satisfied with your job, with your work assigned to you. That is known as job satisfaction. Many times what happens, employees are unwillingly performing their job because they have to earn, because they have to carry out the expenses of their uh, what you say domestic expenses or their own family expenses. Due to that, unwillingly many of the times they are working, then they are not saying that they are satisfied with their job. But job satisfaction is one of the most important component of the management. If the employees who are working in the organization, they are happy, they are satisfied with the job, it means they are always, they feel themselves satisfied and motivated at the workplace, so they can perform more and more better in the organization. So job satisfaction then promotes interpersonal relationships. Delegation increases interaction of managers with the subordinates and promotes healthy relationships amongst them. Correct? It promotes interpersonal relationships. Okay, because manager knows the team, the employees with whom he is working. Now he is used to with them after spending 1 year, 2 years. So a good kind of relationship, which is known as interpersonal relationship, is ultimately created among them. So it is advantageous from both, from employer, employees, subordinates, and superiors point of view. So these are the what we call advantages of delegation of authority. So in the next lecture we will see the different parts which are related, which are mentioned in our syllabus. By the time, thank you, we will stop here today.